Things my ex-boyfriend did to me and I still stayed with him. Starting out strong, he would urinate in bottles when he was too lazy to get up and use the bathroom when playing his PS4, and he would hide them in his closet. He cheated on me with a 13-year-old. He hacked into my social media accounts and would block men that I knew. He traded corn of me on Instagram with other men. He hacked into my social media accounts and would pretend to be me and not let me have them back. Tried to run my car off the road because I wouldn't do stuff with him in the car. Told me I looked ugly prom night and made me leave when I was out having a really good time and dancing with my friends. Would take pictures of my bank cards and steal my money. Ditched me on my birthday to go sell illegal substances. Paid for my birthday dinner and made me pay him back. Cheated on me 20 times. Had bad earwax that caked on his earbuds. And I officially dumped him because he got a 16-year-old pregnant.
Things my ex-boyfriend did and I still stayed. On my birthday, we got into a fight, so he threw my present into oncoming traffic. He made me sleep on FaceTime with him every single night because he thought I would just text boys all night. One time when we were hanging out, I caught him cheating, and he ran upstairs, locked himself in his mom's room and was saying he was gonna off himself. I invited him camping one time with my family, and he woke me up in the middle of the night, and he was threatening to go wander around in the woods. And it was like 3 a.m. So I had to beg him all night to stay awake all night to make sure he didn't leave. He would go through like my texts with my family. Like no one else, but always like my mom and my dad and my sister. One time we went mini golfing and I wasn't taking the game serious enough, and so he stormed off and left. And I still don't know where he went to this day. Whenever I would post like a selfie on my story, he would remake the same selfie and pose and post it on his story mocking me. Whenever we would get into a fight, he would turn his location on and go to his ex's house. This one girl had texted him and said, "If you bring me a Diet Coke, I'll give you a kiss." So he did, and I'm pretty sure I was at his house. And then after, I found out about it the next day from all his friends, and he tried to gaslight me and tell me that we weren't exclusive. One time, we got into a fight in physics class, so he broke up with me during that class. He would mock my family members or make fun of them and like talk crap on them to me.
Things my ex did and I still stayed. He gave me chlamydia twice. He threatened to kill my dog Sadie if I did not block him, who, mind you, was literally just a puppy at the time. He threw me out of his apartment for accidentally starting my period during quiet time, and then wouldn't talk to me for 2 weeks after. Piggybacking on that, he could not have intercourse unless Cartoon Network was on in the background. Like, he could not perform otherwise. He would ask me a lot to try and sneak pictures of my girlfriends when they were changing. Obviously, I never did it, but I just brushed it off as him being a silly little perv. He told me he had fantasies about my mother. He told me, and I quote, "You would be a perfect 10 if it weren't for your boobs." He lied and told his parents that I was 22 and not in fact my real age, which was 18.
Things my ex did and I still stayed. My ex asked me if I would be down to have with him and my best friend. The answer was no. My ex restricted what I could eat and told me that if I gained weight, he would break up with me. Whenever he would take me out on a date, he would make me pay half every time. And sometimes he would pay for things using his dad's credit card and still have me Venmo him half. He wouldn't give my half to his dad though, he would just keep the money for himself. He went to prom with another girl while we were together. I ended things with him after that, but then I took him back. So, that one's on me, honestly. That's my fault. Once we went to a concert together, and before the concert started, we were both starving. So we got into line at a Chick-fil-A at the concert venue, and I didn't have my wallet on me, but he had his wallet, and he ordered his food. He was like, "Are you gonna get something?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't bring my wallet. Could I order something and then Venmo you?" And he said no. He said, "If you weren't smart enough to bring your wallet, then I guess you won't be able to eat tonight." And he got his food and he ate it right in front of me. I called my mom, told her that I was starving and he wasn't going to pay for me to eat, even though I promised I would pay him back, like I always did. My mom was not happy about that. And so my ex said that if I was that hungry, then I would have to have my mom Venmo him, and then he would order me the food. But he needed my mom to Venmo right then and there, so he knew for a fact he would get his money. My mom Venmoed him, and then I was able to eat. But yeah, he was fully okay and content with letting me go hungry that night. My ex's own mother told me that her son takes after his father. He's mean and he'll never change, and he'll never be capable of giving me the treatment that I deserve. After hearing her say that, I don't know why I didn't just leave and end the relationship, but I still held on to hope that eventually one day he would treat me how I deserved. That never happened, though. My ex said that he didn't want to have to buy me anything for Christmas, so he downloaded Temu and sent a download Temu link to a bunch of people from his contacts list, because if 7 people signed up, then he would get 7 free gifts. And those 7 free gifts from Temu is what I got for Christmas. It wasn't anything that I wanted, it was just the options for free stuff. So, Merry Christmas! I used to have to beg my ex to please brush his teeth. He said there was no point in brushing his teeth because he's just going to eat again at some point, so why brush your teeth? There's no point. So he would just chew a lot of gum. Eventually, he grew out of that little phase, and he did start brushing his teeth, which is great, but it took way too much convincing.
Things my exes did, but I stayed. Made a group chat with my mom and his mom on Christmas Eve asking for all of the presents he got me back. What were the presents he got me? Fuzzy socks and hand sanitizer. Hope it was worth it, gremlin. Pressured me into climbing a silo barefoot. And when we got to the top, he tried to get me to jump onto the platform. I would have... Not only did my ex cheat on me at Young Life Camp, but he brought me back a souvenir, which was a spoon. When you go to Young Life Camp, you ask somebody to dance with you by giving them a spoon. And the spoon he brought back to me was the same spoon he gave the girl he cheated on me with. One of my exes told me I would look better with B cups and that my best friend at the time was his type. One time my ex and I were going on a tandem bike ride, and he turned us onto a busy road and goes, "What would you do if I drove us into oncoming traffic right now?" Probably not break up with you, because I stayed with him after that. Refused to hang out with me because he wanted to play Fortnite with the girl he cheated on me with. Called his mom hot. The end.
Get ready with me where I tell you all the things my ex did and I still stayed. The first thing was that I went to a festival. I literally got there the second day. Bear in mind, it took me an hour to just get there because of how heavy all the bags were, because I brought extra stuff for him and extra food because he came unprepared. I got there and my friend's boyfriend was like, "I've got some bad news for you." I get there, he had K-hold, and I had to go clean up his sick. I had to clean it, and there was no choice behind that. He gave me... Bear in mind, there was sick all in the bottom of the tent that I had to sleep in that smelled like sick for the next few days. I had to clean it with the wet wipes. That same night, I was literally on the verge of tears, crying my eyes out. This girl gave me her vape. I was stressed, so I was like, you know what, go on. He was so against vapes, which, I don't even know why, because he literally smoked weed and did cat. He took the vape out of my hand, and we were right next to the border, and he threw it over the border. I literally had to explain to this girl that I'd met for about 10 minutes that my boyfriend threw her vape over the thing that wasn't mine, which I told him it wasn't mine. Another thing he did at this exact festival was the last day, even though he was sick in the tent, which I had to sleep in for 3 days, which reeked, I spilled orange juice on the last day on the air mattress by accident because I was pouring myself a cup of orange juice, and he had a go at me in front of all of his friends, and they were like, "You're overreacting," and he was like, "Yeah, but..." The next thing he did is he would constantly tell me about how his girl best friend, well, one of his girl best friends, had the best arse and body he's ever seen while he's with me. Bear in mind, I mean, she was a thick queen, she was beautiful, but I'm your fucking girlfriend, mate. What are you doing? So, I mean, he would go on my phone all the time, by the way, but this one time I went on his phone because clearly I did not trust this man, and he called me a psycho
for going on his phone, even though I found that he saved multiple of his girl best friend from work's snaps in chat. Like, what? And, like, they weren't just her face, like, they were her body as well, like, outfits and stuff like that. So, if you can't tell, this is all one ex, but I had an ex before him who cheated on me and then got with the girl. My current boyfriend, who's my ex now, I don't know how to, the same guy, said that he, like, bragged because he'd gotten off with the girl that the cheating ex was with now. Bragged because she had, like, big, and that he felt them up. I actually totally forgot about this story. But I went on holiday to Paris with my best friend. I, like, did, like, a little joke and was like, oh, I brought you back these, like, chocolates. Now, instead of gracefully accepting this wonderful gift, he there had a go at me and was like, is this all you got me? Blah, blah, blah. Even though it was a joke, I mean, obviously he didn't know that, but, like, how ungrateful can one be? And then I rush to the next bedroom and I give him his Stussy Paris t-shirt that I got him, and he was like, thanks. Like, there wasn't much gratefulness there. You also got to bear in mind, he went on holiday before me and he brought back a pair of earrings which are silver, which at the time I literally only wore gold jewelry. He brought me back limoncello, which I don't drink, but I still gracefully accepted that gift. Another thing he did is he constantly asked me to take Polaroids, and if you know, you know. And eventually I gave in and did it, and then I was like, okay, your turn, because it's only fucking fair. And he was like, no. He said it made him too insecure and uncomfortable. This one actually rattles me every time that, like, I actually didn't see anything wrong with this. So basically we went for McDonald's at, like, literally the furthest McDonald's you can fucking go to in my town. This was right next to his ex's house, and he decided to drive his car to his ex's house, honk outside it, and then quickly drive away at midnight. I also forgot to mention to that festival that he made me go to. Yeah, he made me go to it. He begged me to buy tickets because all his friends' girlfriends were going, la-di-da-di-da. But then he proceeds to tell me that he actually wanted to break up with me before it. So this one's quite a long one, but basically we went to the cinema. I don't remember what we watched, but we went to the cinema. Came out and he was like, do you want to go for food? And I had no job. Okay, I just turned 18, so yeah, I did get my, what's it called? When you get that money when you're 18. Anyway, and I was saving it for uni. And he was like, oh, like, why don't we go for a meal? He had a job, I didn't, and I was like, I can't afford to go, like, I'm saving that money for uni. He had a go at me for saving that money for uni, and I also spent a little bit going to Paris with my best friend. And he had a go at me for going and spending that money with my best friend instead of him. Anyway, that same day, he forced me to go for a meal anyway, because he always ended up getting in his own way. And he said that he would pay for it. I literally got, like, some starters. That was it, because I was like, I just know what this man's like. He's gonna make me pay. And what happened? Midway through the meal, he was like, send me half of this. I literally went to the toilet and cried in that restaurant because I was like, I don't want to be here. So this was actually another festival. I don't know why I fucking went to so many with him. I was with my friends and this boy comes up to me and makes a joke about my boyfriend, well, my ex-boyfriend, balding. He wasn't even there, so I laughed because I was like, yeah, he kind of is balding. After the thing, he's like, starts crying on me about how he's balding and that it was, like, my fault, like, for pointing it out. But I didn't even point out, it was literally someone else, and it's not my fault. He was visibly balding. Oh, this one was quite traumatizing for me, actually, even though it doesn't sound that bad. I had never been on the motorway before, ever in my lifetime. Like, I passed my driving test, like, I want to say, like, 5 months before, which is, like, a decent amount of time, but I just had never driven on the motorway because I was too scared. Anyways, he is moving house, and I'm like, okay, let's, like, go, you know, the back way, whatever way I can go that doesn't require me going on the motorway. And this man literally put the directions on the maps and took me onto the motorway. So by the time I'd already took that as I was on the motorway, and okay, yeah, it did say the M, whatever on it, but, you know, I thought it would be like a slip road, take me off. No, I was on the motorway. So yeah, I'm panicking, and bear in mind this has happened before. I was at a shopping centre, and I asked him to put my maps on my screen, and he took me the motorway way again when I asked him not to do that. I mean, I can drive on the motorway now, but bear in mind, I've been driving for 5 months. I've been driving for 1.5 years now. Anyway, after he forced me to go on the motorway, he then broke up with me a few days after.
Things my ex did to me and I still stayed. Called me a bitch at the bar in front of all of his friends because I told him maybe he should give one of his shots to his friend because he was blackout drunk. Later found him that night smoking a cigarette with a random person on the street. And I drove him home and he puked red all over his mom's white carpet. And yes, I did stay up all night to make sure he was okay while his head hung in the toilet. Told me he was going to the bar with his friends, and I later found out that none of his friends could actually make it. So it was just him and his girl best friend, who he once asked out on a date when they first met, hanging out at the bar till past midnight. Refused to speak to me on a 3-hour car ride after I surprised him with an all expenses paid anniversary trip because I simply asked him if he could hurry up because we were going to miss our reservation that I made. And by asking him to hurry up, he refused to talk to me and I cried the entire 3-hour car ride and he didn't say a word. Continued to tell me that him and his girl best friend did not have feelings for each other even after I found a text on his phone where she said she lost her key to her apartment and she might spend the night at his house. In conclusion, we are no longer dating, but he is dating his girl best friend now. Why the fuck did I say?
Things my exes did, and I still stayed with them. I can't believe I'm just now doing this trend. Preface, I have multiple exes, so this could really be any of them. Off the bat, we have punching a hole in my bedroom door. And then when I said that he had to pay for the damage, he punched 2 more holes in my bedroom wall while my mom was in town. So she hated him. Literally was like, Mom, it's fine. I made him mad. It was pathetic, LOL. Another one is cheat on me with not 1, not 2, but 3 girls in 1 weekend away. That one was crazy because I had 0 evidence to back that claim. Something was just telling me. I literally was like, I'm getting the strangest feeling that you cheated on me this weekend. And he told me it was with 3 girls. And I was like, oh. Dated him for a year after that. I don't even think that can top the one time that my ex cheated on me literally when I was there. Legitimately witnessed my ex making out with a girl. I was like, oh, it's fine. He's just really drunk. He was literally sober. Sober as a gopher. Another one of my exes leaked my nudes. His response, legitimately, is, I didn't think you would be so weird about it. Okay. I don't know if I could say this next one. You guys are gonna think I have like actual problem. Another one of my exes, oh my god. Well, we were home alone at his parents' house, brought out a, sorry, I don't want to get flagged. Yeah, whipped out and said, let's play Russian roulette, and literally held it up to my head, pulled the fucking trigger. Literally. It's like, oh, I'm gonna die. It's not funny. It's not. Another one of my exes, yeah, we're still going. Constantly called his mother hot. Yeah, I would literally be like, maybe my family dynamic's weird or something, I don't know. Another one of my exes took me on 1 singular date in the entire year. 1 date. Then Venmo requested me for half while I was at work. And then there was this one time that I called my ex bro. He smashed my face into a dresser. All this stuff occurred when I was a child. Now if someone did that shit to me, I would sue them. I'm telling you, if any of these resonate with you, get the fuck out of there. My biggest regret is giving awful people multiple chances. Someone shows you an ounce of violence, I'm telling you, that is who they are. They will not change. So yeah, in conclusion, I have awful taste and PTSD. Makeup is eating. Okay, I love you guys. Okay, bye.
Things that my exes did, and I still stayed with them. One time I was going over to my boyfriend at the time's house, and I was getting in the shower to get ready. And before I got in the shower, he texted me and was like, I want the Gluck Gluck 9000. And I was like, don't worry, babe. Like, I'm showering and then I'm on my way. So naturally, I take an everything shower. I exfoliate, I shave, I do the whole 9 yards. But when I get out of the shower, I see like 20 texts from him, all sad faces. Me thinking like, oh, he just really wants me to come over. Like, I must be really good. Like, I'm really good at that. Wrong. He texts me back and says, I just got the Gluck Gluck. I was like, what do you mean? Because I'm not with you. I'm in the shower on my, what do you mean? He got the Gluck Gluck 9000 from my friend at the time. Literally in the amount of time that it took me to shower, he had another girl over and did all of that. I still went over after. Like, I definitely went over and we fought, but I still went over and we continued the relationship. That same boyfriend convinced me to give up my V card by threatening to sleep with one of my friends. He fully said, if you don't sleep with me, I'm gonna sleep with your friend. And me, young, dumb, and in love, said, okay, fine, here it is, here you go. And he still slept with her even after taking it. Moving on to the next ex, one time we were driving and we drove by a car that happened to look like a guy I used to hook up with, his car. And because I just happened to look out the window as this car drove by, he got so mad that he made me get out of the car and walk home. Probably called me every name in the book, told me he saw right through me, and literally threw me out of his car. And I walked my happy ass home. Still went back to him though. That same ex lied to me about his name. He said that his middle name was actually his first name, which isn't true, but such an odd thing to lie about. Like, if you can lie about that, what else do you lie about? Obviously a lot of things, but at the time, didn't care. Same ex, didn't know when my birthday was. And when I asked him, like, do you know when my birthday is? He got mad at me for accusing him of not knowing. And instead of like looking on Facebook and just like trying, like pretending like you know, he guessed, and he guessed the wrong date. I'm fully convinced the birthday that he did say was the birthday of the girl that he was cheating on me with at the time. Not to mention, he also called me her name one time. I could literally make a part 2, 3, 4, 5 of this, but I guess I'll end with, didn't have a job, drove his mom's car, and he used me for all my money. And before any of you call me stupid, my brain wasn't even fully developed yet, and I'm just a girl, so it isn't my fault.
Things that my exes did and I still stayed, except it progressively gets worse. Anytime I would fall asleep while texting him, I would get like 40 different text messages about how he was insecure and asking if I was out cheating, even though he definitely had my location. So every time I would literally have to apologize for sleeping. During the talking stage, this guy would jokingly talk about how I needed to delete all my Instagram posts. You know, the mental like, oh, I saw it, now you can delete it. It was that. Fast forward to when we locked in now, he had my password because I had nothing to hide, but then he proceeded to go and archive all of my Instagram posts. I wasn't even on Instagram like that, so I found out like a week later. He lied and claimed that he never did it. So this guy played basketball, as most of them did. I definitely have a type. After one of his games, he got these 2 girls' numbers. I saw him talking to them, so I obviously asked. He was like, oh, it's not like that, you didn't hear the conversation. And he told me that I would be seriously stupid if I thought that he would cheat on me. This guy asked me if I was okay with him going out with his girl best friend on Valentine's Day because she was going through a bad breakup and he needed to be there for her. So I obviously told him, like, no, I'm not comfortable with that. He ended up gaslighting me into thinking that I was a bad person for not letting him go. Not only did I end up apologizing, but I let him go. So this is the same guy that said I was stupid if I thought that he would cheat on me. I bought him an Olive Garden gift card for his birthday, and he used that gift card to take another girl on a date. He's the same guy that archived all of my Instagram posts, but whenever we would go on dates, he would do gross things as a joke. The main thing being pretending to fart whenever like a waiter came, which... One day I just got tired and I asked him to stop because it was gross and it was not funny. Literally did not speak to me for 3 days because I told him to stop. This one guy would send me workout videos on YouTube. Those videos I'd be like, oh, how to grow your boobs in 10 minutes. Not only would he send them to me, but he would FaceTime me while I did them. And I know I let a lot slide, but this last one truly takes the cake. So we're back to basketball / Olive Garden guy. I'm at his house and I peep that there is a hickey on this man's neck. It wasn't for me, so obviously I go pressing him like, what's on your neck? He tells me that he burnt himself with a curling iron. For reference, this man has short type 4 hair. Anyway, that's it everyone. Deuces, deuces, and deuces.
Okay guys, we're gonna be doing things our exes did and we still stayed. For context, these are my 2 exes.
This is just my last ex.
Okay, the first one is he smashed my phone because my cousin who was a boy called me.
Okay, go. Okay. Mine is that when we started dating, he didn't tell me he had kids. I found out a month in from another girl that he had a kid. And then I found a month after that he had a second kid with a different baby mama. So...
He threw a controller at my head when he lost at Madden.
Okay. Mine, every time he got mad or frustrated with me, he would hold his hands out like this and go, I just want to fucking choke you out. Okay, and sorry, for context, he turned out to be abusive, so that's...
Mine would turn his location off every time he went to the club.
The fucking trauma. Okay, mine went through my whole room, everything in my room, underwear drawers, everything, and found, Polaroids that I gave to my,
ex before him and freaked out on me. So
mine would just like ghost me for days because he was going through something.
holy shit. Okay, mine didn't do anything for my birthday 2 years in a row. First year, he started a fight. Second year, he broke up with me a week before my birthday. Sorry. So, this year's gonna be better.
So for my last one, he would make me drive 8 hours or book a flight to go see him every 2 to 3 weeks because he was in the military. And when he finally had 30-day leaves off, instead of coming to see me, he planned to go visit his ex-girlfriend that he was talking to throughout our whole relationship.
Pat on the back, pat on the back.